Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Today we are going to be going over the Red Eyes deck profile, and this is something that I actually want to put out there. This is probably the hardest and one of the most funnest decks I've ever had the opportunity to build. Really shout out to Justin. If it weren't for him having such a passion to play Red Eyes, then I would have never even looked at this deck. It was just so complicated. It had taken so long for me to actually build it. And the most important thing is that it's still a work in progress. It's still a lot of errors that I would like to fix. So, I mean, if it were genuinely my deck, I'd be doing like playtesting, you know, a couple hours a day or, you know, whenever I can to make it a better deck. But I just feel it's one of those fun decks. It really isn't, in a competitive aspect, it's not like hugely competitive, but it's focused on either making boards that your opponent can't get over, inflicting burn damage to your opponent, and making huge OTKs. So this deck is very combo centric. It draws a lot. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Teleport Dark Arm through the draw engine. There's like 7 draw cards. And like I said, it's extremely fun to play. But let's get down to the deck profile. 3 copies of Red Eyes B Dragon. This is, he's rather important. I actually don't even like that one. So I'm going to put these jump dragons right there. 3 copies of Red Eyes B Dragon. 3 copies of Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon. 2 copy of Malefic Red Eyes. This card's MVP. I think that's all my level 7 guys. For the other guys, 3 the Blackstone of Legend. I like this card. It's very interesting how I play it, mainly because, you know, I rarely use it for its summon effect, but when I do, you know, I use it for that effect. 3 copies of the Black Dragon, 2 copies of Eclipse Wyvern, 2 Maxi, Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, and 1 copy of White Dragon Wyver Buster. I mean, consequently, there's a couple other monsters you can run. There's Denko Seka because you don't normal summon. You can also run Effect Veiler because, I mean, obviously Effect Negation is key to winning games. Dark Arm Dragon, I actually really like this card because it's a level 7 dragon monster. It fits really well with the deck. Multiple copies of White Dragon. I did run multiple copies of White Dragon, mainly because, you know, I ran more light or dark. I mean, you have more dark targets than anything, and it's also a Black Dragon target. Multiple copies or an extra copy of Eclipse Wyvern. I did find this card to be very, very good with the deck. Even more importantly, I actually did run Effect Veilers just for Black Dragon targets. I mean, just in case. But ultimately, Black Dragon's job is to banish Eclipse Wyvern. This newer build, I haven't really had too much time problems with Black Dragon because I get this card to the graveyard as soon as possible. Keeper of the Shrine. You guys actually seen me play this card in the older builds, and I really love it. I actually want to play it again. But like I said, this deck goes through so many deck changes all the time. But any of these cards are perfectly fine to play with the strategy. It really helps the strategy. Doesn't hurt the strategy, and it's just like gives you a different feel or a different type of build. I mean, the only card that I really haven't genuinely play tested fully was Dark Arm Dragon because it's a one-of. It's so hard to play test it and, you know, see it and all that other stuff. But, you know, ultimately, I'm pretty sure it's a great card. Now on for spells. 3 copies of Sacred Swords of the 7 Stars. 3 copies of Cards of Redstone. 3 copies of Hidden Armory. 3 copies of DDR. 3 copies of Terraforming. 2 copies of Dragon Ravine. I wish it were at 3. 1 copy of Lore. You have a 7-card draw engine. So, and you have, you know, 8 targets. So, I mean, the odds of you being able to abuse them are high. You never really run out of targets because, you know, you put them back to the deck with Blackstone of Legend. Unfortunately, the Black Metal Dragon, I mean, that card was still bad. I couldn't even play it. But I did like the fact that it did search out my Red Eyes monsters so I could Cards of Redstone or Sacred Sword. I mean, at the very worst, I pitch them for DDR, so it's not really that bad. Or, you know, more often than not, I'm actually pitching Wyverns or Blackstones. But, you know, it is what it is. That's going to sum up the spells. Dragon Ravine is so good in this deck. It is so critical to send extra Red Eyes monsters to your graveyard, to send Blackstones to your graveyard to set up future plays, but most importantly to set up Wyverns, because Wyverns banish your Malefic Red Eyes, your Red Eyes, your Flare Metal Dragon, And if you are playing it, it banishes your Dark Arm Dragon, which sets up for too many plays. I really want to play this card again for that, and extra copies of Wyvern. But like I said, I'm going through the motions with this deck. I mean, then last for traps, I mean, this is something that I actually take out the Effect Veilers for. I probably would take them, you know, back out and put the Effect Veilers because Effect Veilers are a light target. Is Champion's Vigilance. And what Champion's Vigilance does is it basically, if you have your Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon that's not Gemini summoned, or Red Eyes B Dragon that's, you know, on the field, your opponent, when your opponent normal summons, I believe, blah, blah, blah. When a monster would be summoned or when a spell or trap card would be activated, basically you get to negate it. So I felt that was, you know, pretty cool to have a Infernity Barrier for a deck. And more often than not, decks with Infernity Barriers are really good. This is practically a layout. Like I said, there's so many ways and so many different cards you can play in this deck. It makes it insane and just adjust to your playstyle. And like I said, it's still a work in progress. I'm pretty sure this deck can still get a lot better, and I will continue to work on it. But that is the monster lineup that I am running currently, and it's very, very, very consistent. Now we can get on to the extra deck. Alright guys, the extra deck is pretty straightforward. I actually run less copies of cards that I thought I should run more of, but I mean, I never wind up playing them. But let's get into it. 2 copies of Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. A lot of people thought that, I thought that this was a necessity at 3. I've never really needed more than 2. I mean, 2 normally just seals the game for me. I summon one, summon the other one, bam. I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you run 3 though. It's still that good of a card. Number 11, Big Eye. This is another card that I wanted to run 2 of. Mainly because this is the best, it's still to me the best rank 7 monster, being able to take an opponent's monster. But I opted to 1 because, I mean, just, I don't go into it. It's just like not that useful as it used to. Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack. I would probably never play 2 of these. Just, I mean, it's so subpar now. I wish it were so much better. 2 copies of Constellar Satellar Knight Diamond. I remember somebody asking me why play 2 Satellar Constellar Diamond. And my genuine answer to him right now is, why not? I mean, Deltros is complete garbage in here, so why not play 2? It's one of the best dark countering cards. Its effects are amazing. It's 2,700 attack. I mean, it's a reason why this card's 15 plus bucks. So I mean, like it is really good. Oh, and at very worst case scenario, you use it to attach for your diamonds. So it's whatever. Wind Up Arsenal Zinmar and Constellar Pleiades. These are Tamalis, however you say its name. Those are Tamalis targets. This is just really to deal with back row, something that this deck really doesn't, you know, it kind of has a problem with. So, for the normal level 4s will be 2 copies of Queen Dragon de Jin. This card's amazing. I mean, there's not really much else to say that this card is amazing. It literally says, special summon a Red Eyes component monster, and then exceed with it and do whatever you want with it. Really good. Honor Arc, because Honor Arc is good. Castell, Exciton, Daigusto Emerald, those are all really good. Keep in mind you can use Daigusto's Emerald effect to special summon your Gemini monster, and you can use its effect to special summon your Red Eyes Black Dragon from your graveyard. I've done that quite a few times. But then there's the Tellarknight Tamias. I just call it Tamias. Tellarknight Tamias. Its effects, obviously, as you know, you can use these 2 as material. More than likely, you're going to use 2 monsters, so you're going to need him as a material to be able to summon anything. But he's just, I mean, he's just that good. This card's amazing. It's awesome to be able to go into a Pleiades, or a Zinmaya, or a Diamond for, you know, just game-breaking effects. Consequently, you can just make them, attach a material, and then on your main phase 2, you know, you can go into him again, and then it's, like I said, it's pretty good. Now we're going to get on to the combos. Alright guys, now on to the combos. This deck is really predicated on 1 combo and 1 combo only. I made it extremely easy to get into this combo. You have 7 draw cards, 1, 2, 3, I think at least 3 search cards off the top of my head, and every single card that's the combo piece, you run the maximum amount of, actually, let's go to there. You run the maximum amount of cards to get into it. So, like, you run 3 copies of Hidden Armory, 3 copies of Terraforming, 3 copies of DDR. Like, the odds of you getting this hand are very high because, or some combo into it is very high because you run so many of it. So, I'm going to give you guys the ultimate, perfect, super Kazatastic, Fragilistic, Espialidocious combo. I mean, even though there's probably better combos I haven't even thought of right now, or, you know, combos that I could put into it, but I feel like this is the most basic and one of the best combos. We're going to start off with this very, very, very probable hand because this deck is just that good at making those hands. So, first we're going to activate Dragon's Ravine, and we're going to activate the effects of Dragon's Ravine. This is going to be your hand. We're going to pitch Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon to send Eclipse Wyvern to the graveyard. Furthermore, it's going to banish the Malefic Red Eyes Bee Dragon. Next, we're going to banish the Eclipse Wyvern to special summon the Black Dragon Calypso Serpent. Eclipse Wyvern's effect is going to activate to add the Malefic Red Eyes Black Dragon from our deck, or from our banished, remove from play zone to our hand. Then we're going to activate Hidden Armory, and because we're so good, we're just going to send another Red Eyes Bee Dragon from our deck to the graveyard to add DDR to our hand. So now we have a pretty good setup right here. We're gonna banish Red Eyes Bee Dragon from our deck to special summon Malefic Red Eyes Bee Dragon to our field. Then we're gonna activate DDR, discarding the stone to special summon the Eclipse Wyvern and not the Red Eyes Bee Dragon. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because we're gonna Exceed summon, and what we're gonna Exceed summon, we're gonna go into Queen Dragon Djinn. Queen Dragon Djinn's effect is going to activate, detaching the Wyvern to special summon the Red Eyes. Actually, I'd special summon this one. And then after that, we're going to Exceed summon into our Red Eyes, our Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. Now, Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon cannot be destroyed by battle because of Queen Dragon Djinn, and it also cannot be destroyed by card effects either. Furthermore, you can detach one to special summon this Red Eyes. And then on top of that, you can activate Black Stone of Legend to put this Red Eyes to your deck, to add the Stone of Legends to your hand. So you're gonna start off with a pretty set field on first turn. There's so many ways to make this combo, and then there's so many little combos inside of this to make fields like this. This deck is really good at making huge fields like this, and all of them are pretty much revolved around the cards that I showed you, that same amount of combos. If you add like your draw cards into it, if you're activating cards of Redstone and sending multiple Red Eyes monsters to the graveyard, then you have even bigger combos. I mean, it's basically the same thing, but you're gonna have even more material for your Red Eyes to summon. If you're activating Sacred Swords, then your DDR becomes even more live. Like this deck, literally, every single card, almost every card that you use in here feeds into your combos so well. But like I said, you guys should be able to see, you know, all, you know, the deck that's predicated on this combo. That's all it makes. You guys should be able to see the little or the smaller combos that are easier to make within the deck. Ultimately, thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.